Hello Warhammer Explorers. Before we dive in, hit subscribe so the next transmission isn't lost to the warp. Every click tells me to keep building this universe with you. What if Five Nights at Freddy's arrived in Warhammer 40K? The puppet remembers the first time it died, and it remembers the children who died after. Their cries never leave it, even when the pizzeria is dark, even when the cameras show only empty halls. Tonight the cameras show something else. A broken city under a dead sky. Children running while giants in metal shells fire burning light. The puppet whispers its rule, no child dies again, pulls Freddy, Bonnie, Chica and Foxy into its strings, and tears open the glitch between screens. The lights explode, the floor falls away, and the haunted band of Freddy Fazbear's pizza crashes screaming through a warp-torn sky above a hive world of the 41st millennium. Fire peels open the night above Hive Vespera. The hive is a mountain of metal and stone, a stack of cities climbing into smog and void. Billions live in its levels. Most of them never see the sky. Tonight, they see something worse. The clouds twist like a wound. Purple lightning stretches across the high air. For a second, every lumen lamp in the hive flickers. In an orphan hab block near the mid-hive, a girl named Lysa looks up from her bunk as the ceiling lights stutter. She hugs her thin blanket closer. The pipes above her bed groan like something huge is breathing. In the command spire, Lord Governor Helion Morth grips the edge of a hololithic map. The map shows the hive in ghost blue lines. Red threat runes bloom across the upper levels. Another warp storm? He asks. Unknown, my lord, says Vox Officer Jeren. Energies spike in the upper atmosphere. No ship, no re-entry trail. It is just there. Morth tastes metal. The last warp storm cost him 3 whole districts and half a regiment of soldiers. He turns to the other figure in the room. Inquisitor Varro Hale stands like a dark knife beside the map. He wears a long coat marked with the stylized eye of the Inquisition, the Emperor's secret police. A rosette of gold and black hangs at his throat. His eyes are cold. Open every sky eye, Hale says. Every picked capture, every auspex. If the warp tears, something is pushing in. We will see it. On the hive skin, storm winds howl. Thunder rolls down the spires. Rain turns to hot steam before it hits the metal. A hole tears open in the clouds, round and wrong, like a broken pupil staring down. Something falls out of it. At first, the lenses do not understand what they see. The images smear with static, like an old security tape, black and white. Frames skip and jump. Then the picture sharpens. 4 shapes tumble through the air, wrapped in faint flickering light. A bear, a rabbit, a chicken, a fox, all made of metal and padding, with joints like rusted hinges and teeth of yellow plastic. Behind them, like a shadow with strings, falls something thinner. A tall, white mask with tear tracks painted down from black, empty eyes. Long limbs held up by invisible wires. The puppet. They scream without sound as they tumble. Not with fear, with rage. The band of animatronics slams into the side of the hive's mid-level plating. Metal screams, bodies bounce. Chunks of armor fall away into the deep. Inside Freddy's suit, the soul that once wore a birthday hat feels the impact like hitting water, cold and endless. Inside the puppet, the strings burn. Crossing the breach took more than force. It took pieces of memory. Faces blur, names fade. The puppet feels that loss and accepts it. No child dies again. Wake, it sends through its strings. Freddy's eyes flicker on. 2 glowing dots of pale, haunted light. He digs broken metal fingers into the wall and hangs on. Around him, Bonnie's rabbit head twists back into place. Chica's beak snaps shut. Foxy's hook drips sparks as he digs it into a cable trunk. They cling to the side of a world that makes their old pizzeria look like a toy. Down below, the hive is a canyon forest of towers and walkways. Flyers rush past in lines of red engine glow. Far off, artillery on the lower levels fires in dull, regular thumps. The puppet floats above them, held in place not by gravity but by hate. Its strings sink into the wall, tasting power lines and data cables. Strange voices hiss along the lines. Binary, prayers. Machine spirits of this era, mumbling half-understood litanies. The puppet listens and learns. Cameras, doors, sirens. It knows these things. Stay hidden, the puppet whispers into Freddy's mind. Find the children. We are here for them. Freddy nods. Metal jaw grinds. He starts to climb. Down in the orphan hab block, Lisa hears the pipes above her bed croak and rattle. Then she hears another sound, a heavy, slow thump, like someone large with broken feet walking in the ducts. She sits up. Outside her thin curtain, the other kids breathe and snore. The air smells of oil and old sweat. The light above the door flickers again. On the far side of the hab block, the door lock clicks. Not with the usual beep and hiss, but with a long, scraping grind. The door opens. Men in red hoods and ragged armor push inside. Their eyes shine with unhealthy light. Markings burned into their skin-formed twisted symbols. Chaos cultists. Up, little sparks, one of them says, voice slurred with joy. Time to see the stars, the true stars. He lifts his hand. Strips of black metal and bone hang from his wrist, each marked with a rune. Warp charms. Lisa starts to slide under her bed. The lumen dies. For one breath, the room is pure dark. The cultists laugh. They like the dark. Then a different light appears. 2 circles of pale blue, low to the ground, in the back corner of the room. They stare out from the shadow near the broken heater. Freddy stands there. His fur is dirty and burned. His metal bones show through his suit. His smile is too wide. He steps forward, heavy feet shaking the floor. The cultists freeze. Their minds try to fit this new thing into old shapes. Demon, mutant, machine. Freddy tilts his head. The animatronic eyes dim and brighten, like someone adjusting a screen. He sees the children. He sees the charms. He remembers other men with other symbols. No child dies again. He moves. The first cultist lifts his stubber gun. He never fires. Freddy crosses the room in 3 steps and slams the man into the wall. Plastic teeth crunch down on a throat. Bone cracks, blood sprays. The other cultists shout words they think will summon help from the warp. The warp listens. Behind Freddy, the puppet slides through the door like smoke in a mask. Strings of light snake from its fingers into the walls. Cameras wake up in the ceiling. Old lenses, never used in years, blink on and turn toward the room. The puppet sees everything at once. Children slipping under bunks. Cultists lifting blades. The warp coiling in the charms they wear. The puppet pulls. Lights explode. Alarms scream. The door slams shut with a bang like a gunshot. One cultist lunges at Lisa's bed, blade first. A red blur hits him from the side. Bonnie, the rabbit, crashes into him with a wild, jerky run. His guitar is gone. His hands are empty claws of metal. He tears the cultist down. Chica grabs another and stuffs his face into her beak. Teeth, meant to look cute now, bite through a skull. Foxy swings down from an overhead pipe, hook flashing. He drags a cultist up into the ceiling and throws the body into the vents. The kids scream and cry. The puppet moves through them like a cold wind. It does not touch them. Its strings loop around them, marking them as "do not harm." Warp light flares from the charms as the last cultist activates them in panic. A jagged tear opens in the air above the bunks. Something inside the breach tries to push out. A hand with too many fingers. A mouth with no face. The puppet turns toward it. Behind the mask, it smiles. "You use the dark to hurt children," it says, voice a whisper in no language and every language. It throws its strings into the breach. Two forces meet. Child souls and murder memory versus the hungry chaos beyond the veil. For a moment, the hab block is full of TV snow. Lisa watches a white mask hang in the air, lit by stormlight from nowhere. Then the breach slams shut. The charms on the cultist's wrist crumble like dry leaves and fall to the floor. The puppet drops to its knees. Pieces of it have burned away. Its arms are shorter. Its back is bent. Crossing worlds took something. Fighting the warp takes more. But the children are alive. "Hide," the puppet whispers into their ears. "Stay together. Soldiers are coming. They shoot anything strange." Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy turn their heads toward the door. The pounding of boots comes from the hall. The door explodes inward. Guardsmen in flak armor and dull green coats pour into the room. They carry laser guns, simple rifles that fire beams of red light. Their faces are hard. They are used to shooting first. They see corpses on the floor. They see children under beds. They see 4 monstrous mascots dripping blood. "One at the back," someone shouts. "A psyker," another screams, seeing the puppet's mask. Fingers tighten on triggers. The lights flicker again. Every camera in the room turns to one man, the sergeant. The puppet threads into his vox bead, into the tiny speaker by his ear. It whispers one sentence. "Look at the wrists." The sergeant hesitates. He looks down. He sees the charms. He sees the warp burn on the air. He sees, on the nearest corpse, a mark he has been trained to fear. The 8-fold star of chaos. "Hold fire," he yells. "Heretics. They were summoning something. Check the kids." He looks back at the animatronics. Freddy stands still, hands open, palms empty. Bonnie and Chica lean away from the children. The puppet already fades into the ceiling, strings pulling it up toward the ducts. It knows these soldiers are not safe, but they are not killers of children today. It leaves them. Codex note: spirits bound to machines are not always classed as demons. Some are recorded as sanctioned animus constructs, when their hate serves imperial need. Up to now, a haunted pizzeria band has crashed into a hive city, saved one group of children, and shown its rule. Protect kids, punish killers, burn itself if needed. The storm in the sky does not close. In the command spire, Hylian Morth stares at the stormhole. The hololithic map now shows a new symbol at its center. A black circle ringed with jagged lines. "Warp breach localized," the Vox officer says. "No ship, no asteroid. Energy pattern, unknown." "Show me the feeds," Inquisitor Hale says. Screens bloom across the air. Grainy picked feeds from mid-hive cams. Shots of the orphan hab block after the fight. Hale sees the bodies of cultists. He sees charms. He sees children. Then he sees Freddy. The pict is low resolution. The colors are bad. But he sees a large, bear-shaped machine, suit torn, hands covered in blood, standing between the kids and the door. Hale's jaw tightens. "Zoom," he orders. The image grows. 2 glowing dots look back at him from inside the bear's head. "Machine spirit," the tech priest murmurs. He is a thin man under robes and cables, half his face replaced by metal. Pattern does not match any sanctioned design. Binaric readouts unknown. "It came with the storm," Hale says. "Send troops to secure that block. Do not engage unless fired upon. I will speak to it myself. Morth looks at him in disbelief. You want to talk to that thing? The governor asks. We should scrap it and purge the whole hab block for safety. If I thought that was enough, I would already have given the order, Hale replies. Something has crossed the warp with purpose. It saved children from chaos. That makes it either a tool or bait. He taps the map. Red symbols flash on lower levels. Also, we have a larger problem. The cult is not limited to one hab block. Across the hive, at 6 points like a circle drawn in blood, other cult cells are waking. Small warp fires flicker in their shrines. The charms they wear glow. They are linked like lights on a twisted birthday string. If they all flare at once, the small tear in the sky will rip wide. The puppet feels that too. It rides the data streams through the hive, slipping from camera to camera. Every time it jumps, it feels friction. The longer it stays here, the more its strings fray. It watches cultists gather in forgotten chapels. It hears them chant the same phrases the killers once whispered at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza back on Earth, just in a different tongue. Murder has the same shape everywhere. Circle, the puppet thinks. They are drawing a circle to open the sky. If they finish it, all the children on this world will scream forever. It cannot cross that many points alone. It is strong, but not that fast. Not in this huge place. The pizzeria was 4 main rooms and some halls. This hive is a maze for giants. It hates this fact. No child dies again. But to stop that, it must work with people who already kill children when the war demands it. The thought makes its mask crack. It turns its attention back to Freddy and the others. They stand in the orphan block under guard rifles. The kids cling to their legs. A little boy hugs Foxy's torn waist. Foxy's single eye flickers with confusion. He wants to swing his hook, to scare the boy away so he will not get hurt. He does not. The puppet sends a soft pulse. Stand still. Let them hide behind you. They trust our shapes. Footsteps echo in the hall. The guardsmen make a path, rifles lowered but ready. Inquisitor Hale steps in. Up close, he looks older. Lines around his eyes. The rosette over his heart glows faintly. He takes in the scene with a quick, trained scan. Body count, wounds, survivors. His gaze stops on Freddy. You understand me? He asks. Freddy's speaker crackles. It has been years since he tried to speak to an adult in words. But we understand, Freddy says. The voice is distorted, like an old tape wound too tight. We protect the children. Every adult in the room tenses. Hale's hand drops closer to his holstered bolt pistol. A bolt pistol fires explosive shells the size of small fingers. Protect, he repeats. From whom? Freddy's head jerks. Images flash inside him. The pizzeria. A man in purple. A locked room. Killers, Freddy says simply. Men with marks. Men who smile when children cry. Hale looks down at the nearest cult corpse. He sees the carved rune. In that, he says, we agree. He looks at the children. Take them to a safer level, he orders the sergeant. Shelter Sigma V. No one enters without my mark, no one. He steps closer to Freddy. You will come with me, he says. We have more children on this world than you have seen in your short existence. They are all in danger. You will help me keep them alive. The puppet hears the lie inside the truth. Hale wants to save children. He also wants to use the animatronics as tools, as weapons, as bait. Tools can be thrown away, but right now, the cult circle grows. Go, the puppet sends to Freddy. If we stay down here, they all burn. We can watch him while we work. Freddy nods, slow and heavy. We will help, he tells Hale. But if you hurt the children, we will hurt you. The room drops a degree in temperature. Hale holds Freddy's gaze. Inside, he files that sentence away. Threat, intent, evidence for later, when he writes his report to higher lords. For now, he turns and walks out. "Bring it," he says over his shoulder. Freddy follows. Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy clank behind him. The kids cry as they go, reaching out. "Don't leave," Lysa sobs. Freddy looks back. His eyes dim, then flare. "We will come back," he says. "We always come back." The War Council gathers in a high chamber of the command spire. The room is round, with a table like a stone wheel. Hololithic projectors float above it, showing a three-dimensional image of the hive. Lord Governor Morth sits at one point of the wheel. Medals glitter on his chest. His eyes are bloodshot with lack of sleep. Inquisitor Hale stands to his right, as if he does not belong to the circle, but to some higher, unseen one. On the other seats sit a colonel of the Planetary Defense Force, a tech priest, an astropath with blind, glowing eyes, and a giant in blue armor. The giant is an Adeptus Astartes, a space marine. He's almost 3 meters tall, wrapped in ceramite plates the thickness of a man's chest. Each plate is marked with the symbols of his chapter, the Iron Sentinels. To normal humans, he looks like a walking tank. To Freddy, standing at the edge of the room, he looks like something between a knight and a monster. The Space Marine's name is Captain Severin. He watches the animatronics with a calm, cold interest. "Begin," Hale says. The hololith zooms in. Red points flare across the lower hive levels, forming a rough circle. 6 confirmed cult cells, the colonel says, each with warp-active charms. Tech Priest Luro has checked the readings. They are building toward a combined event. "A ritual ring," the astropath whispers. She hears the warp like faint music all the time. Right now, the music has teeth. "Correct," Luro says, voice flat and machine-like. "Projected outcome is a large-scale breach. Sector-scale damage possible. Hive integrity at risk. Population loss, high." "High means millions," Morth mutters. He grips the table harder. "We have regiments," the colonel says. "We can hit them. But the hive is vast. We cannot move that much force into place before they complete the rite." "In the old days," Morth says quietly, "we would sacrifice the lower levels to save the world. Seal the bulkheads, vent the air. Let the cult and everyone near them die." He looks at Hale. "I have signed such orders." Hale nods. "I have written worse," he says. "I have ordered virus bombs dropped on worlds so that Chaos would have only ash to play with." He studies the red ring. "But this time, we have a new piece on the board. Something that came with this breach. Something that moves through cables and cameras." The hololith shifts. A grainy image of Freddy appears standing in the orphan block. Next to it, images from other feeds. Bonnie in a stairwell. Chica in a mess hall. Foxy in a corridor. They have moved since the first fight, following the children as soldiers led them to new shelters. "Machine spirits do not act this way," Tech Priest Luro says. "Not without modification." The astropath shivers. "They burn in the warp when I look at them," she whispers. "Like candles made of teeth. They are not pure." The Space Marine speaks for the first time. "What are they?" Captain Severin asks. "Xenos constructs, demonic puppets, artificial minds." "Haunted toys," Freddy says from the edge of the room. Every head turns. Freddy's voice is louder here, his speaker patched into the room's vox. The puppet rides that connection, smoothing the worst glitches. "We are children," Freddy says. "Children who were killed, bound to metal by a mask that wanted us to be safe. We crossed the dark because we heard other children scream here." Silence falls. The tech priest mechadendrites twitch. Unclean, he whispers. Souls bound outside sanctioned rites. Yet they fought chaos, Hale says. He turns to Freddy. Your rule, he says. Say it again. Freddy's jaw clicks. No child dies again. Severin leans forward. You kill for that rule? He asks. You judge who dies? Freddy thinks of the cultists, of the purple-suited man, of guards who looked away. Yes, he says simply. If they hurt children, we kill them. We do not forgive. The colonel snorts. A hard line, he says. But war does not care about lines. Children die in bombardments, under tank treads, in the walls of hive quakes. Sometimes we choose that, to save the rest. Freddy's eyes flare. You choose which children die, he asks. Morth slams his hand down. Yes, the governor says. I have signed orders that sent entire districts to their graves. 8 million souls once, in the plague years. The children among them screamed as they burned. But if I had not, the plague would have spread, and billions more would scream now. That is what it means to rule in this age. His voice shakes, but his eyes do not. The puppet listens. It feels the echo of what he says. On Earth, the man in purple chose. He chose to kill a few to feed his hunger. Here, men choose to kill many to stop a worse horror. The math is bigger. The pain is the same in each small chest. Your math is broken, Freddy says. Children are not numbers. In this Imperium, Hell replies, they are. We do not have the luxury to treat each one as a miracle. We are drowning in bodies and fire. We decide where to stack the dead so that the wall holds a little longer. He steps closer. You are strong, he says to Freddy. You can move through this hive faster than our men. You can hit all 6 cult points before they link. You can see through cameras and locked doors. With you, we can save more than we will lose. Without you, we may have to cleanse the lower levels. He lets that settle. You want no child to die, he says. Help us, and fewer will. Not none. Never none. But fewer. The puppet feels the hook. On one side is its rule, pure and sharp. No child dies again. On the other is the world's weight, pushing down. Some must. It is a trap of logic. It will not save everyone. But if it tries to save everyone, it might save none. In the pizzeria, the puppet had time to stalk 1 killer at a time. Here, killers work in thousands. This is wrong, Freddy says. And this is real, Hale answers. The Space Marine speaks again. We are not here to debate the value of purity, Severin says. We are here to win. He looks at Freddy. We have fought demons that wear the faces of loved ones. We have seen Xeno's beasts pretend to be children, but I saw pics of you standing between the cult and those orphans. That matters, even to me. He taps the table, zooming the hololith. You can move faster than we can. You can be at each ritual point in minutes if you use the hive's machine spirits. We can only be at 2 in force. I propose we treat you as an allied asset. Strike where we cannot. We will bear the chain of command. We will answer for what you do. Hale raises an eyebrow. You trust this thing? He asks. No, Severin says. But I trust what the Emperor sometimes sends me. Broken tools, tainted swords. We cleanse them after the war if we can. For now, we kill the bigger monster. His blunt words hang in the room. Freddy hears the last part clearly. Cleanse them after. It remembers being shoved into closets, into back rooms, into the trash. It knows what being cleansed means. The puppet slides a string into the room's lumen strips. Light flickers for a second as it nudges Freddy's mind. Take the deal, it whispers. We cannot save everyone, but we can stop the circle. Later we can decide what to do with these men. For now, there are children sleeping above pits. Freddy's hands curl. "I will go," he says. "I will stop the circles. But if you lie, if you hurt them when this is done..." He lets the threat hang. Hale nods slowly. "Deal," he says. He turns to the others. "Colonel, move. Your regiments to support 2 ritual points nearest the shelters. Tech Priest, give our guest full access to local Vox and picked feeds. Captain Severin, your squad will go with it. If it turns, you will kill it." Severin bares his teeth in something that might be a smile. "As the Emperor wills," he says. The first ritual cell is in a forgotten chapel under a manufactorum. It stinks of oil, blood, and old incense. Candles burn in circles on the floor. Charms hang from the roof. A hole in the back wall pulses with weak warp light. Cultists march children into the room. Their eyes are empty, drugged. Chains bind their wrists. The puppet sees them through a cracked lens in the ceiling. Freddy feels them through the puppet strings. He is already running. His heavy feet slam down a service corridor. Pipes shake. Rust falls like rain. Behind him, 4 shapes move with him. Foxy, Bonnie, and Chica run at his side. Captain Severin and 5 Space Marines thunder behind them, their power armor humming. Each carries a bolter, a weapon that fires exploding rounds the size of a child's fist. They are slow in narrow halls. Freddy is not. Door ahead. The Tech Priest's voice crackles over the Vox. Sanctum lock. Heavy. Freddy does not slow. He remembers locked doors. He remembers banging on them. "Open," the puppet tells the chapel's old machine spirits. The doors have been sealed for years. They are covered in fresh chaos runes. They do not want to open. The puppet wraps more strings around them and pulls harder. The candles inside flicker. The cult leader raises his knife. The doors fly inward. Freddy bursts through. He hits the cult leader like a freight train. Bone and meat smear across the altar. The children scream, shaken out of their drug haze. Cultists whirl around. They brandish knives, axes, stolen laser guns. "Demon!" one shrieks. Foxy cackles with a broken speaker and charges, hook whirling. He cuts a gunman's arm off at the elbow. Bonnie leaps onto the altar, towering over a cluster of cultists. He brings his heavy feet down again and again. Chica grabs a chain and snaps it, freeing 3 kids at once. "Run to the wall," the puppet whispers to them. Turning the chapel's old lights to show a hidden door, they run. A cult magus at the back hisses and thrusts his charm forward. Warp fire spills from his hands, green, black, and hungry. It washes over Freddy. He feels the souls inside him twist. He remembers being crushed in a suit, unable to breathe, eyes full of springs and blood. He pushes through the fire. "No more," he growls. He bites the Magus's head off. At that moment, the Space Marines crunch through the doorway. Bolters roar. Explosive shells rip cultists apart. In seconds, the room is a storm of blood and smoke. Freddy stands in the middle of it, dripping. Captain Severin surveys the scene. "You went in alone," he says. "You were slow," Freddy answers. Severin looks at the freed children. They cling to Chica's legs, to Bonnie's ears. One small boy reaches up and touches the Space Marine's armor. His hand shakes. "Emperor, protect us," he whispers. Severin's face softens for a second. He puts his huge gauntlet on the boy's head, gently. "He does," he says. He turns back to Freddy. "For now, we work," he says. "Next cell." They move. The second cell is in a low hab block. The third is in a cargo bay. Each time, Freddy and the others hit first, using cameras and doors and alarms to sow terror. Each time, the Space Marines follow, bullets finishing what claws begin. Collateral is not zero. Once, a child runs the wrong way in panic and is caught in a bolter blast meant for a cultist. He dies instantly. Freddy freezes. He feels a small soul leave, bright and hot. He hears it scream. The puppet shrieks inside him. "We killed him," Freddy says. "He died because of them, not us," Severin snaps, pointing at the cult dead. "If you want a war with no dead children, you chose the wrong galaxy. Move." Freddy does not move. He kneels. He picks up the child's limp body and hugs it, fur soaking red. "I am sorry," he whispers. The child's soul spins near him, confused. The puppet reaches out. "Come with us," it whispers. "Be safe in the dark." The soul shakes. It wants to stay. It wants its mother. But there is only war here. It curls into the puppet's strings. Another tiny light joins the cluster inside Freddy's chest. He stands. The cost rises. They move on. By the time they hit the fourth cell, the cult starts to adapt. They smash cameras. They jam doors. The puppet has to work harder to see. Its strings are frayed and smoking now. The warp breach in the sky pulses faster. In the command spire, the astropath clutches her head. "They are almost linked," she moans. A few more breaths of time, and the circle will be complete. "Status," Hale demands into the Vox. 4 cells down," Severin replies. 2 remain. Our ally is burning itself to keep up. Freddy hears that. He feels it. His joints grind. His suit splits. Every time the puppet shoves them through a wall or jumps a camera, it leaves something behind. Memories fall like dust. He cannot remember the pizzeria's floor pattern anymore. He cannot recall the song they used to sing on stage. Only the screams stay clear. The last 2 are close to the breach, Tech Priest Luro says. Near the upper spires. High population density. Failure will be catastrophic. "Can't we just blow them up from orbit?" the Colonel asks. "We do not have a fleet in position," Hale says. "And even if we did, an orbital strike on those levels would kill tens of millions. This is why we fight down here." He looks at the hololith. He knows the numbers. If they fail, billions might die in warp fire. If they succeed, maybe only millions will, over the years, in other wars. He hates this math. He's very good at it. "Push them," he tells Severin. "We have no time." Freddy and the others climb again. This time, they move into shining halls lined with gold icons and banners. They are closer to the high levels, where nobles live. People in fine clothes scream and press against windows as they pass. "What are those things?" a rich woman shrieks. The puppet ignores them. It feels a deeper pressure in the cables now. Something else is awake. At the 5th ritual site, they find not just cultists and charms. They find a machine. It stands in the center of a grand hall, where once the Emperor's statue held a sword. The statue lies broken on the floor. In its place is a tall, humming pillar of black metal, carved with straight coal lines. Green light pulses in its cracks. Tech Priest Luro gasps over the Vox. "Xenos construct," he says. "Not chaos. Design. Similar to Necron Xenotech records. This is the true anchor of the circle." The cultists here chant in front of it, but their words are thin. The machine does not care about their faith. It hums to its own logic. Freddy steps into the hall. The machine turns toward him. Not physically. It does not have eyes, but something in it focuses. A wave of cold rushes out, not icy air, not simple chill. A dead zone. Freddy's lights flicker. The puppet screams. The souls inside Freddy feel hands close around them, trying to pull them out of his suit and grind them down. Freddy staggers. Foxy and Bonnie fall to their knees. Chica's beak hangs open. The Space Marines behind them feel it too, but only as a numbness at the edge of their thoughts. Null field, Severin roars. Anti-psycho wave. It is eating their souls. The machine pulses again. The charm circle around it glows bright, then shatters. The cultists scream as their bodies pop and twist. Their souls are sucked into the machine and vanish. The warp breach in the sky flickers in time with the pulses. The puppet feels pieces of itself tearing off, dragged toward that cold center. It pushes back. It is used to fighting the hot hunger of killers of the warp. This is different. This is not hunger. This is erasure. Not you will scream, but you will never have been. Freddy tries to step forward. His knee joint locks. He falls. Children watch from behind balcony rails, eyes wide. They should not be here. They should be in shelters. But nobles wanted to see the excitement. They did not listen to evacuation orders. Now they are in the worst place. The machine pulses again. One small girl clutches the rail so hard her hands bleed. Freddy reaches toward her. His hand stops halfway. He cannot move. The puppet's voice thins. I cannot hold. Inquisitor Hale's voice cuts in. Freddy, listen. That thing is drawing power from the warp breach. It is a sink. It cancels your ghost field. You cannot win by pushing harder. You must break its focus. How? Freddy rasps. You are fear, Hale says. That is your weapon. Make it look away. Severin hears this. He drops his bolter. He draws his chainsword, a long blade with spinning teeth. For the Emperor, he roars. He charges straight at the machine. Bolter shells do not work on Necron constructs. Chainswords do not cut their skin easily. But Severin is not trying to destroy it. He is trying to distract it. The machine pivots. A beam of sickly green light lances from it and hits the Space Marine full in the chest. His armor bursts. Ceramite plates melt and crack. Flesh vaporizes. He keeps coming. He slams into the machine, chainsword grinding against its side. The beam widens. He vanishes in a storm of green. For a second, the machine's focus is not on Freddy. The cold lifts. The puppet drags a breath it does not need. Now, it screams. Freddy surges up. His joints still shake, but he can move. He runs, roaring, not at the machine, but at the balcony. He crashes through the crowd of nobles, ignoring their screams, scoops up a cluster of children, and throws them across the hall toward the door, where guardsmen grab them. Foxy swings his hook at the balcony rails, cutting them free so more kids can drop into soldier arms. Bonnie and Chica use their bulk as shields as shards of stone fall. The machine turns back. Its green beam sweeps across the hall. Where it passes, souls rip free. Several adults die with their mouths open in silent screams. Their souls spark and vanish. The puppet feels those sparks go out forever. It has never felt that before. Even in the worst deaths back home, there was always a ghost, a smear, a shadow. Here, there is nothing. Terror runs through it, not fear for itself. Fear that the children's souls will be erased like that. It hates the machine more than it has ever hated anything. Stop looking at them, it howls, voice echoing through every speaker in the hall. Lights blow out. Screens all around the hive turn on, showing the white mask. The puppet pours itself into every lens, every wire. It shows the machine in some way its own reflection. A cold thing staring into a void. It cannot truly make the Necron construct feel fear, but it can overload the local machine spirits that talk to it. It can jam their signals, make them scream in binary. The machine's field flickers. Freddy lunges. He cannot destroy it, but he can reach the last group of children huddled at its base, placed there by the cult as living offerings. He wraps his arms around them and throws them away toward the Space Marines behind him. The beam hits him. For Freddy, there is only green. Souls inside him scream. The puppet wraps itself around them like a blanket, taking most of the hit. Pieces of kids flake away. Not flesh, memory, voice, face. When the beam fades, Freddy is on his knees. Half his suit is gone. One arm hangs by wires. His eyes are dim. But the children he threw lie in a pile behind a Space Marine, alive. The machine pulses again. Then, from above, a lance of white fire drops through the roof, an orbital lance. Somewhere, a ship has braved the warp storm to fire once. The beam hits the machine dead on. Necron metal screams in a voice only the tech priest hears. Then it shatters. The null field dies. The warp breach in the sky shrinks a little. 5 cells neutralized, tech priest Luro reports. Anchor destroyed. The circle is broken. The last cell's output cannot tear the breach fully open. They can only scratch. The astropath sobs with relief. Then scratch they will, Hale says darkly. We are not done. He looks down at Freddy's feed. The animatronic trembles. The puppet floats faintly above him, strings tattered. Children cry around them. Hale feels something he has not felt in years. Pity. Power scaling interlude. Inquisitor Hale dictates into his recorder later. The entity known as Freddy and its associated constructs are soul-bound animus machines. Their strength comes from bound child spirits and a central directing will, the puppet. They are resilient against warp predation and demonic influence due to their focused hate and a tight emotional loop, fear and vengeance. However, they are catastrophically vulnerable to null fields and Xenos soul erasure tech. Anything that cancels or consumes warp echoes can unmake them. Each major exertion in the warp or against such tech burns away pieces of their constituent souls, reducing both power and identity. In the war room, Hale plays the record back and stares at the numbers. Each time the puppet uses the breach-gifted power to jump, to fight, to shield, it is paying with the children inside it. Each victory is also a slow self-execution. He wonders how long before there is nothing left but an empty suit. He wonders what it will do with its last breath. Up to now, the puppet and its band have broken the cult's ritual ring, destroyed the strange soul-eating machine, and saved thousands of children. But every victory has burned away pieces of the souls inside them. The warp breach over Hive Vespera hangs smaller now, but it is not gone. It curls like a half-healed wound in the sky. Lightning crawls around its edge. Sometimes at night, people swear they see shapes moving behind it. Hands, masks. The first new sign is quiet. No explosions, no gunfire. Just children all over the hive waking up screaming at the same time. Lysa claws at the thin blanket in her bunk in Shelter Sigma V. She cannot breathe. In her dream, she is back in the orphan hab block. The cultists are there. But this time, Freddy is not. Instead, a tall figure in a clean purple suit stands on the little stage where the kids eat rations. He wears a white mask like the puppets, but the painted tears run upward instead of down. A wide, neat smile is painted on the mouth. He opens his arms. "Come on up, kids," he says in a warm, kind voice. "I'll keep you safe from the monsters." In the dream, the other kids step toward him. They smile. They are calm. Lisa knows somehow that if he hugs them, they will never wake up. She tries to scream. She cannot. The dream man turns his head. He looks right at her. Behind the painted eyes Something old and clever smiles. "You brought me here," he says softly, "when you opened the door." Lisa jolts awake with a cry. Around her, other kids also wake, sobbing. The lumen strip glows dim blue. The shelter's metal walls feel too close. Outside the door, guardsmen shift on their feet. They are tired, nerves afraid. One of them mutters, "If they don't stop shrieking, I swear I'll..." He does not finish the sentence. The pick screen in the corner of the shelter flickers. For a second, static crawls over it. Then, instead of the usual boring news, it shows a simple image. A door, a little stage, a purple curtain. The kids stare. Their eyes glaze. They start to stand. The puppet feels it like a cold knife sliding between its strings. It is everywhere at once, watching through cameras, listening through mics. It feels hundreds, then thousands of small pulses of fear. And something else. Pull. Children are being pulled towards screens and doors all over the hive. Not by cult charms or Necron machines. By dreams. By a voice that sounds safe. It tries to follow the pattern. Every time it jumps from one feed to another, it strings smoke. The breach gave it reach, but that reach has a cost. At last it finds a center. In a forgotten Vox chapel just below the spire, an astropath kneels and screams. Her soul is open to the warp by training. She is a human antenna. Now, something on the other side has grabbed her like a phone line. Golden cables around her head crackle. Her eyes glow black. On the chapel's old screen, a white mask smiles. The tears go up. "Hello, little watcher," the mask says. The puppet stops in the screen's glass. Its own mask appears, faint, beside the other. Two faces, one with tears down, one with tears up. "Who are you?" the puppet asks. The voice behind the mask laughs softly. "I am what you call people like us in this age," it says. "I am a demon of Tzinj. They name me the Night Director. I stage dreams. I write screams. I saw you climb through the dark little mask, and I saw you fight the boring beasts. Very noble, very small." The image zooms in. The painted smile does not move, but the feeling of it does. "You hate men who hurt children," the Night Director murmurs. "So do I. I hate how clumsy they are. They stab, they burn, they leave corpses everywhere. They waste the fear. I do it better. I take one little mind and then another, and I turn them all into a choir. They sing and I grow. You gave me such a gift when you tore open that breach." The puppet strings burn with rage. "You are hurting them," it says. "I am inviting them," the demon corrects gently. "I whisper into their sleep, using your own story. I show them a stage. I promise them safety. If they step through, they will never again be afraid. No bombs, no guns, no purple men. Just an endless party where the music never stops. Is that not what you wanted to build back in your little pizza box?" The puppet remembers birthday banners, 5 nights, laughter over rotting cake. The demon's smile widens. "Your old world's killers were so kind," it says. "They built these nice shapes for you. Bears and rabbits and foxes. Come here, kids. It's safe. Now you have dragged that shape across the galaxy. I am simply using it." The astropath's body convulses. Her mouth opens. Dozens of voices speak through her lips at once. Some are children. Some are cultists. Some are not human at all. "We are in their dreams. We are in their screens. We are the door." The puppet pushes back. It slams its mask against the demons in the glass. "Get out." The Night Director giggles. "Make me," it says. The screen goes dark. The astropath collapses, smoke rising from her ears. The puppet pulls back. It feels suddenly thin. Its strings shake. Children all over the hive sway in front of screens and doors. Some start to walk. They head toward ledges, open vents, slow cargo belts. They think they are walking toward a safe stage. They are sleepwalking toward death. The War Council reconvenes at once. The hololith over the table now shows not red cult dots, but blue ones. Each blue point is a cluster of children with strange pulse signs. There are thousands. This is not a physical attack, Tech Priest Luro says, voice tight. Bio readings show REM sleep states while awake. Brainwaves are wrong. Memetic vector, the Colonel mutters. Some kind of psychic infection. Astropath Ren, bandaged and pale, grips the edge of the table. Her eyes are blind once more, but black veins creep up her neck. It is a demon, she whispers. It crawled through the breach you opened to bring your toys. It has taken the shape of a man with a mask. It talks in stories. It sits behind every door that looks kind. Can we cut power to all screens? Morth asks at once. We can, Luro says, but not fast, not clean. The hive runs on those machine spirits. If we kill them suddenly, we kill life support in half the levels. Lights, air, doors. The panic alone will crush thousands. Can we shoot the children? The Colonel asks, face grey. He does not want to. He has to say it. If this spreads, he says, they could tear parents apart, throw themselves into reactors. If they are vectors, maybe we... Freddy's fist slams into the floor. He stands at the far edge of the room with Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, all scorched and patched from the last fights. The blow cracks the stone. Say it again, he growls. The Colonel swallows. He feels very small under Freddy's dead, glass eyes. I am stating options, he says. I do not want that option. I am not a monster. But I need to know if there is any way to stop this without burning the whole hive. Inquisitor Hale looks at the puppet's faint shape in the vid screen. You said it spoke to you, he says. You said it is using your shapes. How? The puppet forces itself steady. It whispers in their dreams using the breach, it says. It shows them stages and curtains. It uses doors and screens. It wears a mask like mine, but the tears go up. It knows our rule. It twists it. What rule? The Cardinal, a heavy man in red, demands. He has come up from the hive's grand cathedral, furious and afraid. Blasphemous thing. What rule do you claim? No child dies again, Freddy says. Arrogant, the Cardinal spits. You are not the Emperor. You cannot make that promise. To offer that is to tempt them with false hope. It is heresy. Hale lifts a hand. Enough, he says. He turns to the puppet. You opened the way here through a glitch in screens, he says. That is your method. That is also this demon's method. It has seen your breach and is using it against you. It can ride the same paths you do, and it can hurt you in that space. Why can't you just banish it? Bonnie rasps. His voice is rough, like broken guitar strings. Astropath Ren shakes her head weakly. It is not standing in one place, she whispers. It is in dreams. It is in stories. It is in expectations. Every child who believes there is a safe door in this hell gives it another anchor. If we storm one lair, it will simply step sideways into another mind. She looks toward Freddy's silhouette. But it is also focused on you, she says. I felt that. It talked about you. It is curious. It wants you in its stage. That is a weakness. If you go to it, you might cut its center. How? Hale asks. Ren shudders. You must go where it is, she says. In the breach. In the space between screens. In the dreams. Where our minds bleed into the warp. Normal men go mad there. Psychers burn. But you are already wrong. Souls in shells, strings in code. You might survive long enough to fight. Morth looks sick. You want to send haunted toys into the warp to wrestle a story demon, he says slowly. That is your plan. Do you have a better one? Hale asks. The governor thinks of airlocks full of sleepwalking kids. He has no answer. Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy all turn to Freddy. We can't let it keep talking, Chica says. Her beak clicks. I can feel it scratching at my head. It wants to take my hands and twist them. Make me a clown. Foxy's eye twitches. I hear laughter, he mutters. Not the fun kind. The puppet's strings tremble. Crossing worlds took pieces. Fighting the Necron machine took more. Going fully into the breach will take everything. It thinks of the children back home, souls bound to fur and plastic. It thinks of Lysa and the others here. No child dies again, even if that means it does. Do it, the puppet says. The room goes very quiet. Hale nods. Tech priest, he says. Build them a path. Use every cable, every damaged lens, every old cogitator that still hums. Make them a tunnel from this room into the breach. Astropath, guide them. Cardinal, pray. The cardinal opens his mouth to protest. Then he looks at the hollow, at the blue dots, at the casualty projections. He closes his mouth. He starts to pray. The chamber they choose is small and bare. Old data ports line the walls. Huge bundles of cables run through the floor, going down into the hive's bones and up into its spires. Tech priest Luro moves through the room like a spider, plugging in devices, chanting binaric prayers. Connection made, he intones. We will route your presence through the new sphere, the mental echo of the hive's machine spirits. You will not fully enter the warp. You will swim in its skin. This might improve your survival chances by 0.3%. Comforting, Foxy mutters. Astropath Wren sits in a chair at the center, golden circlet back on her brows. Her face is grey but set. I will hold the edges, she says. If you go too far, I will pull. If I scream, cut the line. Hale stands by the single door with a squad of stormtroopers. If they come back twisted, he says quietly, we burn the room. Freddy hears him. He understands. He steps forward with Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. The puppet uncoils from the ceiling and settles over them like a cloak of wires. This will hurt, it warns. It always does, Bonnie says. They join hands. Luro throws a massive lever. Power surges. The world jumps. For a moment, Freddy is standing in the small room. Then he is falling through black. Not the clean, empty black of space. The busy black of an old TV between channels. White flecks, snatches of voices, flashes of scenes. He sees the orphan hab block. He sees the manufactorum chapel. He sees the soul-eating machine. He sees other things too. Brief flickers of other hives, other worlds. Children screaming under different skies. The puppet strains to keep him focused. Straight ahead, it says. Where is ahead? Foxy shouts. Where the laughter grows. They drift toward a sound. Soft at first, then louder. A slow, even chuckle, like someone who already knows the punchline. The static clears. They stand on a stage. Old wood, red curtain, spotlight. Rows of empty seats stretch away into darkness. Up in the ceiling, cameras hang like metal fruit. On the far end of the stage stands the man in the purple suit. His white mask smiles. The tears go up. In one hand, he holds a microphone. In the other, a puppet string cross. Strings trail from it into the dark. Welcome to the big stage, the night director says. He bows. You brought us here, Freddy says. The demon chuckles. You opened the door, it corrects. You tore a hole between little power outlets and big hungry gods. I simply walk through. He gestures. Images flicker in the empty seats. Children sit there now. Some from Hive Vespera. Some from other worlds. Some from Freddy's old pizzeria. They look half transparent, as if someone has drawn them in pencil. They all stare at the stage. All my best audience, the night director says fondly. They love stories. They love being told where to go, who to trust, who to fear. Look how they lean forward when you speak. He leans closer. You are very good at fear, he says to Freddy. Very good at safety too. A nice simple rule. No child dies again. Very clean. But the galaxy is not clean. Your rule does not fit. That is why you hurt so much. Let me help. He lifts the cross in his hand. Strings whip out. They wrap around Freddy's arms and legs. They do not touch metal. They touch the souls inside. Freddy's eyes flare. He tries to yank free. The strings hold. The night director smiles under the mask. Look, he says. The walls fall away. They stand now over Hive Vespera. They see shelters, hab blocks, manufactorums. In every place, children stand in front of doors and screens. Some teeter on edges. Some stand in front of sealed airlocks. Some stand on safe floors. If you do nothing, the demon says, my whispers will send them through the wrong doors. They will fall. They will suffocate. They will vanish into my choir. You cannot be everywhere. You cannot open and close all doors at once. You need help. He tips his head. I can freeze them, he says. I can lock them in a dream. They will never leave their rooms, never grow up, never join the guard, never die in trenches. They will sleep in endless birthday rooms, singing your name. All I ask is a little space in your strings. Let me write the rules. Let me stop the math. The puppet recoils. It sees the dream. Children in small, bright rooms, painted walls, paper hats. They laugh and play, forever 11, forever 8, forever 6. They never feel bullets. They never see stars. They never see their parents again either. They never see anything that is not on the stage. They are safe. They are caged. Freddy trembles. His rule screams. No child dies again. It does not say no child ever lives. The demon tightens the strings. You cannot win with your rule as it is, it murmurs. You saw it yourself. A child died in your arms in that manufactorum. You could not stop the bolter. You could not stop the virus bombs Hale spoke of. You are a joke played on yourself. Let me fix you. Let me turn your fear into a proper weapon. The puppet feels the strings cut into it. It hears the children in the seats whisper. Please, some say. I don't want to die. I don't want to go outside. I don't want to see tanks. It also hears other voices. I want to see the sky. I want to walk in a forest. I want to grow up. The night director tilts his head, listening. You cannot give them all what they want, he says. So give them what will hurt least. Give them me. He leans close. Say it, he whispers. Say, I cannot keep my rule without you. Let me into your stage. In return, I will silence every scream on this world. No more math. The strings pull tight. Freddy feels the children inside him crushed between choices. The puppet tries to think. In the pizzeria, the choice was simple. There was one killer. There were a few children. You kill the killer. You protect the children. Here, the killer is the galaxy. Here, the Emperor's servants kill some to save more. Here, a demon offers to lock all kids in a frozen nightmare to save them from worse nightmares. There is no simple rule for this. Something golden stirs in the static. For a second, between the night director's face and the puppet's, another image flickers. A tall figure sits on a throne of cables and gold. Eyes closed, body broken, soul blazing. The Emperor. He does not speak. He does not move. But his presence presses like a hand on the puppet's mask. It feels no warmth. It feels weight, duty. Billions of souls scream at the edge of that light. Children too. The puppet understands one thing from that touch. No one can keep the math clean. Not even him. Not even a god. The Emperor keeps the Imperium alive by letting worlds die. The puppet cannot match that. It does not want to. But it can choose which monster it becomes. Answer me, the Night Director says. He does not see the Emperor. He only feels something push back on his strings. The puppet straightens. It remembers one small thing from before everything went wrong. Not the murders, not the suits. A birthday. A kid laughing because his father made a dumb joke. He laughed even though the pizza was bad. He laughed because he was alive. Real life always hurts. It also has days like that. The puppet looks at the seats, at the thin children there. At least in this ugly world, it says slowly, they get to choose what to fear, who to love, who to hate. They get to make wrong choices, to grow. Your safe rooms are just another cage. The Night Director's smile does not move. His voice goes cold. You will regret this, he says. He jerks the strings. Pain explodes through Freddy's soul. He sees every child he failed. Every kid who died in fires and suits back home. Every kid who died in bolter fire here. He feels their hands pulling at him, accusing. You said no one would die, they whisper. You lied. Bonnie and Chica fall to their knees. Foxy claws at his own head. The demon laughs. You think you are the only one who can use fear, he says. You think you were the first haunted stage. You are a footnote. I have run theatres on 10,000 worlds. I will hollow you out and wear you as a mask. Then we will see what your rule looks like when it has teeth. He spreads his arms. The stage shudders. Screens open in the air around them. Freddy sees scenes of the hive. Children start walking. One steps off a balcony. He falls toward the manufacturing floor. Another walks toward a slow grinding gear. Another stands in front of a shuttle intake. You cannot reach them all, the Night Director croons. Not without me. Say it. The puppet cries out. It feels its strings attached to every screen. The demon's song runs along those strings. If the puppet cuts them, it will lose its grip on the hive. It will no longer be able to jump through cameras, to close doors, to watch. If it does not cut them, the demon will ride them into every child's mind. The Emperor's heavy presence presses again, not with an order, just with a fact. You cannot save everyone. You can still choose who you leave in whose hands. The puppet makes its choice. It screams, "Run!" The word is not just a sound. It is a command that slams through every lens, every speaker. Screens all over the hive flicker. For a second, the Night Director's smooth stage image vanishes. Instead, children see the real Freddy. Not smiling, not cute. Burned fur, exposed metal, glowing eyes ringed with cracks. They see Chica dripping blood, Foxy's hook, Bonnie's broken grin. They see the puppet's white mask, tears running down. They are terrified. Some fall backward, away from ledges. Some wake up out of the dream. Some freeze and scream. Some run the wrong way. In the dream stage, the Night Director hisses. "What are you doing?" he demands. The puppet knows. It is making children afraid of it again. Afraid of doors, afraid of screens. It is breaking the trust it built in the orphan block. It is trading that comfort for panic. Panic hurts, but panic makes them move. Panic makes some of them slam doors shut, not open. Down in Shelter Sigma V, Lysa snaps out of her trance. The screen in the corner now shows Freddy, burning and wild, roaring at her. She screams and dives under the bed instead of walking to the door. Outside, the guardsman who nearly cursed the kids a minute ago hears her. He bursts in and sees 3 little ones halfway to the open hatch. He yells and grabs them. Elsewhere, not every story ends that way. On a high balcony, a noble child stumbles backward, trips, and goes over the edge anyway. The guardsmen below do not catch him. In a cargo bay, 2 kids run in opposite directions and crash into each other. They both fall onto a moving belt. A worker slams the stop room just in time. In a slum, 1 child wakes and runs straight into a stampeding crowd and is crushed. The numbers shift. Many live who would have died. Some die who might have lived. The math is still ugly, but it is no longer the night director's math. It is theirs. The demon screams. "You broke yourself," he snarls. "You made them afraid of you. They will never trust your stage again. You can never again be the safe bear. Every time they see you, they will think of this. You will lose them." The puppet trembles. It knows he is right. It has cut its own strings. Even if they win, it will never be the same kind of protector again. But the Emperor's weight at its back feels a fraction lighter. "Then we protect them without lies," it says. It grabs the strings the demon wrapped around Freddy's soul. It pulls. Pain flares. Children in the seats flicker. They are not real children. They are echoes. The real ones are out there running, screaming, living. The night director fights. He lunges forward, mask cracking. "You belong in the dark," he snarls. "You belong in closets and behind doors. You are not a hero. You are a nightmare. You were made to scare children into cages. That is what you do best." "Maybe," the puppet says. It wraps its own strings around the daemon's mask. "But I choose who to scare." It rips. The stage explodes into static. The night director howls. He twists into a taller shape, wings of paper tickets spreading from his back. He lashes out. Chunks of his essence sink into the puppet's strings. They burn black. For a second, the puppet sees through his eyes. It sees 10,000 other theaters, on other worlds, where other children sleep in chains of stories. It sees how small Hive Vespera is. Then the Emperor's light flares again. A single, thin lance of gold cuts through the static, through the night director's body. It is not a weapon. It is a limit. It says wordless. "No farther here." The demon screeches. He is not banished. He is not destroyed, but he is pushed. Back. Away from this hive. Away from this breach. "For now," he spits, voice stretching like tar. "This is only one little play. The galaxy is full of stages. I will see you again, little mask. When you have burned away the last of your children, you will come to me. You will beg for my choir." He tears free. He vanishes into the deeper warp, laughing. The stage collapses. Freddy crashes back into his body. So do Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. The room slams into focus. They are lying on the floor of the data chamber. Tech priest Luro stands over them, smoke rising from his mechadendrites. Astropath Ren is slumped in the chair, breathing shallow but alive. Inquisitor Hale's pistol is pointed at Freddy's head. It is still smoking. He lowered it at the last moment. "Report," he snaps. The puppet pulls itself up out of the floor, strings charred. "We pushed it out," it says. "It is still out there, but not here. It cannot whisper through our screens anymore." Hale stares at Freddy. The bear's fur is scorched, almost black now. His eyes flicker. Black veins of warp burn run through his metal and suit. "You are tainted," the Cardinal says from the doorway. He smells the warp on them. "I feel it. You let the demon's claws sink into you." The puppet looks down at its own strings. They are frayed and stained dark in places. When it touches those spots, it hears faint laughter, a bad taste. I took pieces of it with me, it says. If I had not, it would have taken pieces of our children. The cardinal steps back as if hit. Your children? He repeats. They are the Emperor's flock, not yours. You are a thing, a tool, a dangerous tool. We are the ones who threw ourselves in front of the beam, Chica rasps. We are the ones who went into the dark. Where were your saints? Enough, Hale says. He looks at Luro. Casualties? He asks. The tech priest's eyes flicker as he reads reports. Mimetic event contained, Luro says. Child deaths increased over normal baseline in last hour by 17.2%. Without intervention, projected increase was 63.9%. Doors and screens are now clear of enemy influence, but local machine spirits show corruption markers. We will need to ritually cleanse half the hive systems. Children, Freddy asks. Luro hesitates. Thousands still died, he says. Tens of thousands would have. Freddy sways. The puppet supports him. We broke their trust, the puppet whispers to itself. We scared them. Better scared than dead, Hale says harshly. He thinks of worlds where nothing was done. He still hears those screams in his sleep. The cardinal shakes his head. This cannot stand, he says. We cannot keep such a warped thing in our hive. It has demonic infection in its strings. It acts on its own judgment in matters of life and death. It does not respect the Emperor's church. We must purge it before it turns. Bonnie's fists clench. Try, he says. Hale lifts his hand again. Stop, he orders. He looks at the cardinal. Did you not feel it? He asks softly. In the warp, when the demon pushed and something else pushed back. Our astropath did. So did I. The Emperor allowed this thing to stand in that place. He did not strike it down. Or he has not yet noticed this blasphemy, the cardinal snaps. Wren raises her head. Her sightless eyes are wet. He saw, she whispers. On the stage, when the demon offered the cage, I felt his gaze. Not kind, never kind, but focused. He watched the choice. He did not command. He judged. When it chose the harder path, his presence did not leave. She turns toward Freddy. You have his attention, she says. That is terrible. That is also the only shield you have from men like us. Hale exhales. He has made 1,000,000 hard calls. This might be the strangest. We cannot keep this animus construct here, he says. Every step it takes burns our systems. Every fight it picks leaves warp scars. The breach it used is still there, even if smaller. The daemon is not dead. It will circle back. And the machine god's priests will never feel comfortable with the thing they did not build. So you will kill us, Foxy says. Hale shakes his head once. No, he says. I will send you up, to Terra. Everyone in the room goes still. Even the cardinal stops breathing for a second. You cannot be serious, he says. Hale looks very tired. The Emperor has noticed them, he says. They are bound to souls. They carry enemy taint and a strange form of loyalty. They have already changed the fates of thousands of children on this world. That is above my pay grade, above yours, above the governor's. The only court that can decide what to do with them is the Golden Throne. He turns to Freddy. You will come with me, he says. You will travel on a black ship. You will not move through our systems without permission. You will not open any more breaches between screens. You will stand in the throne's shadow and hear what the master of mankind allows you to be. Freddy stares at him. Terror means nothing to him, but he hears what is behind the words. If they stay, they will be destroyed here sooner or later. Fear and hate will build. A new daemon will come, a new Necron machine, a new cardinal. If they go, they might be destroyed on Terra instead. But at least then someone who understands math like this will be the one to say yes or no. No child dies again. If they die under that throne, maybe it will stop some other monster like the Night Director from using their breach. The puppet lifts its mask. We will go, it says. Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy look at each other. They do not understand this new world's sacred places. They understand one thing. Where the puppet goes, they go. Then it is settled, Hale says. He turns to the governor. Lord Morth, you will prepare a full report for Segmentum Command, he says. Tech Priest Luro, you will seal and sanctify every cable and lens these constructs touched. Cardinal, you will tell your flock that a strange spirit came, saved many, and is being judged by the throne itself. You will not incite riots. You will not send mobs after the shelters. The Cardinal bristles. I answer to the ecclesiarchy, not to some rosette, he snaps. Hale's voice goes cold. The ecclesiarchy answers to the Inquisition. When heresy burned by one will light another, he says. Right now, your sermons can either calm this world or break it. Choose. The Cardinal feels the Emperor's distant gaze too. He looks at Freddy, at the black-stained strings. He sees blasphemy. He also sees the shaky children being counted in shelters instead of in mass graves. He bows stiff. As you command, he says. Later, in a small shrine off the main cathedral, a child lights a candle. Lisa stands on tiptoe to reach the rack. She is not supposed to be here. She slipped away from the shelter guards. She stares up at a cracked pict of the Emperor on the wall. He is shown as golden and kind in the old painting. She knows that is not true. She has heard things in pipes now. But she still whispers. Thank you, she says. To you, to the bear, to the mask. I don't know who kept the door shut, but thank you. She sets the candle down. Beside the Emperor's image hangs a small new charm, a cheap metal disc with a crudely scratched bear face on it. Some kid made it from a food tin and left it here. Lysa smiles and touches that too. In the data chamber, the puppet feels the touch. Something small and warm pushes against the black stains on its strings. They do not vanish, they never will, but they do not spread. Codex note. Animus constructs that directly confront demons and survive often acquire laughter static, warp taint that whispers at the edge of their thoughts. Such entities must be monitored closely, but may be granted temporary reprieve when higher authority chooses to weigh their use against their corruption. Up to now, haunted animatronics from a dead pizzeria have crossed a warp breach, saved thousands of children on hive Vespera, fought a soul-eating machine, faced a dream demon, and burned pieces of their own souls to push it away. Now they leave the hive behind. The black ship hangs above Vespera like a knife. It is huge and ugly. No banners, no windows, just black armor plates and the faint glow of ward signs that only psychers can see. Shuttle bays open like dark mouths. One of them swallows a transport from the hive. Inside that transport, Freddy sits chained to the floor. Heavy adamantium clamps lock his arms and legs. Thick cables plug into his back. Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy are chained beside him. The puppet drifts above them, strings running into ports along the walls. Every cable in the bay feels its touch and hates it. Stormtroopers in carapace armor stand in a tight ring around the animatronics. Their hellguns hum. Their fingers rest near triggers. At the far end of the bay, Inquisitor Varro Hale waits. He looks smaller under the black ship's bulk, but his rosette still glows. Welcome to the Emperor's shadow, he says. Freddy's eyes glow faintly. "We have been in shadows before," he answers. His voice is weak. Static buzzes in every word. Hale nods toward a group of robed figures moving down from an inner hatch. One is Tech Priest Luro, already half-linked into the ship's systems. Beside him walks a woman in blood-red armor with a shaved head and a long, plain sword at her hip. A sister of battle, one of the ecclesiarchy's warrior nuns. On the other side walks a tall figure in golden armor without a helmet. His face is calm and cruelly beautiful. He is a custodian guard, one of the Emperor's personal warriors, usually found only on Terra. Seeing him anywhere else means something big. Freddy feels the souls inside him flinch. The custodian looks at the animatronics like a man inspecting a weapon that might explode. "Inquisitor Hale," he says, voice smooth. "I am Shield Captain Acastian, acting at the Throne's distant will. Your message was unusual." Hale bows his head slightly. "My lord," he says, "these constructs saved a world and touched a demon in the warp. They are bound to child spirits and carry taint. I cannot judge them. I can only deliver them." Acastian studies Freddy. His eyes are old. "You are not of this galaxy," he says quietly. "You smell of a smaller hell." Freddy does not know how to answer that. "We protect children," he says again. "So I have read," Acastian replies. "We will see what that means at the end of all this." He turns away. "Launch," he orders. The black ship's engines light. Hive Vespera shrinks on the screens as they rise. Down below, in Shelter Sigma V, a group of children press against a small viewing port. Lysa lifts a hand. She cannot see the ship. It is too small from here. But she knows it is there. "Goodbye," she whispers. "Come back." The puppet hears that through the ship's thin vox link for one moment, like a tiny bell. Then the warp takes them. Warp space is not like real space. The black ship slips into it with a shudder. Every ward rune along its hull lights up. The Geller field hums, a bubble of real around the ship, keeping the soulstorm outside. Inside the bubble, lights flicker. In a small medici bay, Astropath Wren screams once, then clamps her jaw shut. Outside the field, in the warp, colors that are not colors twist and scream. Thoughts become shapes. Hate becomes claws. Old prayers become claws too. The puppet hangs in the cable network of the ship. It feels like it is hanging in a web while spiders crawl all around. Stormtroopers pray under their breath. The Sister of Battle walks the corridors, fingers brushing her rosary chain, eyes sharp. In a narrow chapel, a preacher shouts about sin and fire to a handful of frightened crew. In the animatronics holding bay, the lights are dim. Freddy sits chained. Bonnie leans back against his restraints, staring at the ceiling. Chica picks at a dent in her arm. Foxy's hook taps a slow, restless beat on the floor. Inquisitor Hale enters alone. The door hisses shut behind him. He stands just out of arm's reach. "You could have brought more guards," Freddy says. "If you want to kill me in this room, no number of guards would matter," Hale replies. "And if I wanted to kill you, I'd vent this bay into space." He folds his arms. "I came because this might be the last time we can talk like this," he says, "before people above me decide to tear you apart and study what's left." Bonnie's ears twitch. "You think that will happen?" Bonnie asks. Hale does not lie. "It is likely," he says. "You are dangerous. You are not ours. The Mechanicus will scream to claim you. The Sororitas will scream to burn you. The only reason you are still here is that I could write 'saved tens of thousands of children' on your file. And our astropath could say, 'The Emperor watched them.' Even then, your chances are not good." Chica tilts her head. Then why are you here? She asks. Hale looks tired. Because I want to know something before I hand you over, he says. I want to hear your answer when no one is listening but me. He looks Freddy in the eyes. If the Emperor says, you can save these 10 children only by letting those 1,000 die, what will you do? He asks. Your rule is, no child dies again. But that rule does not fit in this galaxy. You saw that. You broke your own image to stop the demon. You scared them. You made them hate you. Would you do it again? Would you let some die? Or would you drag us all into your small, bright cage? The puppet listens. It remembers the stage, the night director, the offer of safe rooms. We will not cage them, the puppet says. That is not an answer, Hale replies. The ship creaks around them, Freddy thinks. He remembers the boy who died in bolter fire. He remembers the 2 kids saved from the cargo belt. He remembers Lysa's candle. Our rule means we fight, Freddy says slowly. It means we stand in front of the hurt. It means we never let anyone kill a child and call it nothing. But we know now we cannot stop every death. We are not gods. We are a warning. He shifts his chains. If the Emperor says we must let some die to save more, he says, we will hate it. We will scream. We will remember every face. But if there is truly no other way, we will bear it. We will not enjoy it. We will not forget. We will not call it clean. Hale exhales. That is almost an adult answer, he says. He looks strange for a moment. Once, he says quietly, I was posted to a world in the segmentum obscurus. Cults in the hive, as always. They infected the water. Children first. We could either purge the water and kill every child who had drunk it already, or let them live and let them change. He looks at his gloved hands. I gave the order to purge, he says. I watch them in my sleep, every night. That is my rule. I make the bad math. I live with it. He looks up again. If the Emperor uses you, it will be as another knife, he says. He will not fix you. He will not give you clean choices. He will give you more bad math. Are you sure you want that? The puppet strings tighten. No child dies again. We cannot go home as we are, it says. The door is broken. The rolls are broken. We are already knives. Better that someone tries to point us at real monsters. Foxy grins, broken and sharp. And if we do not like where he points us, Foxy adds, we can always miss by a little. Hale actually smiles, a very small thing. I will pretend I did not hear that, he says. The ship groans again. The Geller field flickers. Alarms chime in the distance. Hale's smile dies. We are entering a warp shear, he says. Stay still. Try not to think. Loudly. He turns to go. The door slides open. On the other side stands a woman in black armor with a smooth steel collar around her neck. Her eyes are bright and empty. She is a sister of silence, a blank, a human with no presence in the warp at all. Her mere nearness makes Psychers sick. The puppet strings recoil. It feels a dead zone around her, like the Necron machine's cold, but cleaner. Not soul erasure. Soul silence. The children inside Freddy feel it as a sudden, strange peace. No whispers, no claws, no laughter. They sag in their chains. The sister steps in, passes Hale, and stands near Freddy. She looks him in the eyes. He feels nothing from her, no hate, no pity, no fear. Just a calm blankness, as if she is a mirror with nothing behind it. Hale nods to her. Sit with them, he says. Keep anything that crawls on their strings from getting in. She nods once. She does not speak. She never will. Hale leaves. The bay vibrates as the warp shear hits. Outside the black ship, the warp screams. A river of raw thought slams into the Geller field. For a moment, the bubble shudders. Colors leak through. Inside crew fall to their knees. Images flash in their minds. On the animatronics chains, black stained strings twitch. From those stains, something begins to crawl. Not the night director. He's gone for now. This is smaller. A clone. A shard. The laughter static that stuck to the puppet's soul writhes and pulls itself together. In the air of the bay, between Freddy and the sister, a new figure takes shape. It is tall and thin, like the puppet. It wears a white mask, but this one has no tears, just a smooth, blank smile. Its silhouette is half purple, half black, stitched together. Pieces of cult symbols and inquisitorial rosettes dangle from its cuffs. It is made of all the compromises and half-choices they have swallowed. "I know you," Bonnie whispers. The figure tilts its head. "I am you," it says. Its voice is Freddy's, Hale's, the night director's, and a child's all at once. "I am the caretaker," it says. "I am what you will become if you keep making deals. One more death for safety. One more lie for calm. One more child sacrifice to save a world. I will make you good at it." Freddy's chains creak. "You are not us," he growls. The caretaker laughs. "You already scared them," it says. "You already let some die. You already work with men who drop bombs on cities. I am just the next step. I am your hero rule with all the edges shaved off. No child dies again, unless we have to." That is me. The ship shakes. The Sister of Silence steps between the caretaker and the animatronics. For the first time, the blank flinches. The caretaker's outline blurs where her null aura touches it. "Ah," it says, "a woman with no story. How boring. How perfect." It flows around her. She turns to follow, but in the warp, her null field is a small stone in a huge river. The caretaker reaches for Freddy's chest. "I will take this from you," it purrs. "Your doubt, your pain. I will carry it. You will become efficient, clean. You will stop screaming when you sign purge orders. The kids will still die, but you will sleep. Isn't that nicer?" The puppet hurls itself between the hand and Freddy's soul. The impact is like two magnets slamming together. Pain flares. Bits of black static burst. The puppet sees flashes. A future where they stand beside Hale and other inquisitors, silent as children are loaded onto ships for sacrifice. A future where they smile on hollows to calm little ones, then nod as virus bombs fall. A future where they are inquisitorial mascots, face on posters. "The bear protects you. Report thought crime." It recoils. "Get out," it snarls. The caretaker's mask does not change. "You called him," it says. "You think the Emperor will give you clean work? You think his throne is anything but a bigger stage? He sits on a mountain of children. He will like me more than he likes you." The Sister of Silence walks forward again. Sweat runs down her face. Being this close to so much warp stuff hurts her too. Even if she is blank, she grips her sword. She cannot cut thoughts. She can still cut chains. She swings. Her blade bites into the cables binding Freddy to the floor. Sparks leap. One clamp snaps. Freddy's arm jerks free. The caretaker laughs. "Run?" it asks. "Where?" "We are in here." Freddy does not answer. He reaches out. Not at the caretaker, at the sister. His free hand clamps onto her shoulder. She gasps. For 1 second, the children inside Freddy are pulled right against her null aura. Silence. The caretaker's shape wavers. It reaches to grab Freddy's arm. Its fingers pass through his fur and hit the blank zone instead. There is no soul there. No fear. No guilt. Nothing for it to hook into. It screams without sound. Its mask cracks. Pieces crumble into ash. You cannot be what we become, the puppet says, because we will always remember. We will always hurt. We will never be clean. It pulls. The black stains on its own strings tear free. They flow into the caretaker. For one brief instant, the mirror foe holds every bad choice, every temptation, every almost lie. Then the ship lurches. Outside in the warp, a new light flares. It is not the demon's color. It is gold. The Astronomicon, the Emperor's psychic lighthouse, burns brighter for one heartbeat. That beam cuts through the warp river, through the black ship's field, through the bay. It touches the caretaker. The mirror foe shrieks. It is not a demon of chaos. It is not fully anything yet. It cannot stand that light. It burns. It does not die. It scatters. Shards of it fly away into the warp, into distant shadows. But it is gone from this ship. The bay goes still. Freddy lets go of the sister. She stumbles back, breathing hard. For a second, she looks straight at him. Her eyes are still empty, but in that emptiness, there is something like respect. The bay doors slam shut as auto seals drop. Warnings flash. Hale's voice booms over the Vox. Report. We are intact, Luro answers from somewhere. Geller field holding. Warp shear past. Unknown inner event in Bay 7. Warp residuals. Unusual. Astropath Wren's voice trembles over the link. I felt something try to root in them, she says. Then, something from Terra cut it. The throne says, reach me. Her words echo. The message is clear. Hale exhales. In that case, he says, stay on course. No more tricks. Straight to Holy Terra. Terra is not pretty. Seen from orbit, it is a ball of stained clouds and rusty land. Its oceans are almost gone. Its sky is choked with ships and stations and rings of gun platforms. But it burns. Lights cover its night side like gold dust. Massive shields flicker in the upper atmosphere. The Astronomicon's unseen beam pours out from its core. The black ship glides toward one of the biggest structures in orbit. A ring of dock spires and defense towers that guard the Imperial Palace. Gun batteries track them, but do not fire. They come in on a narrow, locked path. Inside the animatronics bay, the clamps are back in place. Freddy has both arms free again now, but only because they were rechained after the mirror foe. The Sister of Silence still sits near him. She has not left since the fight. Why are you helping us? Chica asks her softly. The sister does not speak. Her vow of silence is more than just choice. Her very soul has been trained to be a blank. But she reaches into her belt and pulls something out. A tiny, cheap metal charm. It is shaped like a laughing sun. She sets it on the floor next to Freddy's foot. Then she taps her chest, then taps the charm, then taps Freddy's chest. I was a child once, the puppet translates quietly. I had a toy. I lost it. I still remember. The sister says nothing. She does not need to. The black ship docks. Massive clamps grip it. Airlocks cycle. The doors open onto a world made of walls. They march the animatronics out under heavy guard. Stormtroopers, Sisters of Battle, Sisters of Silence, skull-faced servitors with gun arms. And, at their head, Shield Captain Acastian and Inquisitor Hale. They walk through metal corridors that slowly change into stone halls. The further they go, the more gold appears. Gold on the doors, gold on the pillars, gold on the armor of the warriors they pass. Custodians stand at regular intervals, still as statues, spears in their hands. Their armor is a deep, almost living gold. Their eyes follow every move. Bonnie tries to count them and gives up. Foxy mutters, "Big scary folks," under his breath. Chica feels very small. The puppet strings brush against walls and ceilings. Each stone is old, Each is soaked in prayers. So many children have walked here as pilgrims. So many never reach this deep. They pass a medici hall where lines of broken soldiers lie under white sheets. They pass a training yard where young boys and girls in grey uniforms shout oaths, wooden guns in their hands. The puppet pauses for a second. Schola progenium, Hale says. Children of dead officers. We make them into commissars and stormtroopers. They will grow up to stand behind trenches and shoot cowards in the back. Freddy's eyes dim. Children, he repeats. They do not stay children, Hale says. That does not mean their fear does not count, the puppet whispers. They move on. At last, they reach a gate. It is enormous. 2 gigantic doors carved with the image of the Emperor in war plate stand shut. Before them stand 10 custodians and 10 sisters of silence. Between them is a blank gulf. Even the air seems to avoid that space. A Castian turns. This is as far as most ever come, he says. Beyond this gate, you stand closer to the throne than almost any who live. Do not speak unless the voice in your mind asks you. Do not lie. Do not run. Freddy nods. He cannot run anyway. Hale takes a breath. He has stood in similar places before. It never becomes easy. Open, a Castian commands. The gate opens. The hall of the throne is bigger than whole hives. Freddy cannot see its roof. Great pillars rise into darkness. Massive vox horns hum with low, endless chanting. Incense burns in clouds so thick they almost hide the far end. Almost. The golden throne sits on a raised platform miles away, and yet it still dominates the room. The Emperor's broken body rests on it. Even from here, Freddy sees cables like metal veins running into his chest and skull. The armor is old and cracked. The face is a skull with thin skin. But the eyes, they are closed. And yet, somehow, they are not. The Astronomican's beam comes from here. Billions of souls feed it every year. The air is heavy. Guards line the approach. Custodians in gold. Grey-robed tech priests. Silent sisters forming a ring of null around the throne. Inquisitor Hale walks forward with a Castian. Stormtroopers stay back. The animatronics, still chained, are pulled along after them. Every step echoes. The puppet strings crackle. This close, the warp feels very thin. On the other side of that thin wall, demons press, but they do not dare come closer. Not here, not near him. They stop at a marked line on the floor. No one, without very special right, crosses it. A Castian kneels. Hale kneels. The Sister of Silence drops to one knee too. Freddy cannot kneel with his chains. He bows his head. You stand before the Master of Mankind, a Castian says, voice low. Speak only in your soul. He falls silent. The hall hums. For a long moment, nothing happens. Then, without any sound, something looks at the puppet. It is like being pinned by a supernova. There is no warmth. There is no kindness. There is only awareness and weight. For a second, the puppet sees nothing but his wars. It sees armies crossing stars. It sees worlds burned. It sees children crying in caves, in ships, in ruins. And it sees him doing nothing to stop each little cry. Not because he cannot hear them, because he is holding something bigger back. The care of one child versus the survival of a species. The math is terrible. He has chosen it for 10,000 years. The puppet feels very small. A voice speaks in its mind. Not in words at first, just a pressure. Then slowly, meaning forms. You tore a door between hells, it says. You brought your hurt into mine. You saved some children. You failed others. You carry both like chains. The puppet would sweat if it could. We did what we could, it answers. Its voice is tiny, like a child standing in front of a judge. You chose the hard road with the demon, the Emperor's presence says. You refused the easy cage. You chose to be hated rather than lie. You did not have to. We could not let them sleep forever, the puppet says. That is just another death. A faint, curious feeling brushes its mask. Approval? Something more like recognition. I have killed worlds, the Emperor says. I have burned children so that demons would not wear their skins. I sit on a throne made of bones so that most may never see what you saw in one hive. I know cages. The weight grows. Now I will show you 3, he says. Vision takes the puppet. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy all see it at once. First path. They stand in a small, familiar pizzeria. Freddy Fazbear's pizza. The air smells of grease and cleaning spray. The lights are soft. Children laugh. Their old stage stands ready. Their bodies are whole again. No burns, no cracks. The puppet hangs in the prize corner. No black stains on its strings. The TV shows simple, happy ads. No warp static. No night director. It is like before, Chica whispers, but it is not. Outside the pizzeria, the sky is wrong. Time is wrong. Some nights, they hear far-off thunder that sounds like distant guns. Sometimes, the walls shake as if a giant hand is poking at the timeline. The breach they opened is patched, not healed. In the vision, they watch themselves go through the old loops. Night guards, shifts, murders that may or may not happen again. A purple figure lurking. They are stuck. They do not remember Vespera. The hive burns somewhere far away. Lysa grows up without them. Hive children face new night directors, new machines, new wars. No Freddy comes. No puppet wraps strings around cult charms. No golden light touches a mirrorfoe. Everything they did in this galaxy is unwritten. The Emperor's thought brushes theirs. Return, he says. Fall back into your own story. Forget this one. You will be small again. Your pain will shrink. Other children will take the weight here. The vision fades. Second path. They stand on the hull of a different ship now. No chains, no guards. The warp roils around them. They are free. There, strings run from star to star, from hive to hive. They slip through noospheric nets, down cable networks into hab-block cameras. They go where they choose. On one world, they appear in drains and ducts just before a cult strikes and drag kids to safety. On another, they flicker in school pict screens, warning of poisoned rations. On another, they unplug whole orphanages from main power, so virus bombs do not ignite their air. They become a legend. The bear in the wires, the mask in the screen. Same Fazbear, some call them, in whispers. Children pray to them, parents too. The Inquisition hates that. In the vision, they see crowded churches where, beside the Emperor's icons, little tin plate bear charms hang from strings. They see priests preaching that the Emperor's bear watches. They see cults too, twisted ones, who start pretending to be Freddy to lure kids after all. No one controls them, not even the Emperor's servants. Sometimes they help worlds the Imperium wants to punish. Sometimes they stop purges. Sometimes they cause them by making someone hesitate at a bad moment. The galaxy starts to bend around their legend. Some Inquisitors reach for weapons. Some reach for chains. Civil wars spark in small ways. In some places the bear is called heresy. In others, hope. Chaos gets in on the game. Demons start wearing their face. Children die in confusion. Free agent, the Emperor's presence says. Act as you will, save many, doom some. Weaken my unity, strengthen it in other places. Become a question mark over every decree. The vision shifts again. Third path. They are back on a black ship, but not this one. They are in a long hall full of cages. Inside the cages sit children. Some are terrified, some are calm, some hum to themselves. All of them are psychers, humans who can touch the warp. Most of them will die feeding the Astronomicon. Some will go on to be astropaths, sanctioned witches, navigators' mates. In this path, Freddy and the others walk the halls at night. They appear in the corners of cages or in the cameras. They talk to the children. They teach them simple tricks. How to breathe slow. How to remember a happy thing when the pain comes. How to feel when a demon is whispering instead of a real friend. They also watch the guards. When a cruel one raises a hand too often, they jam a door or make a light blow or move a cart so someone else bumps into him. Little accidents. Now the vision jumps to a scholar world, a fortress where orphans of officers train. Freddy and the puppet slip through the cogitators that run the dormitories. Sometimes they wake a child 1 minute early, so he misses the beating in the corridor. Sometimes they slam an armory door just as a bully reaches for a knife. Sometimes they stand at the end of a dark hall, so a scared girl sees something worse than her drill sergeant, screams, and brings help. They cannot stop all abuse. They cannot make the drills kind. But everywhere, children are used as tools. They are there. A black bear silhouette appears quietly on the corner of official orders that send whole youth units into hopeless fights. Those orders change, sometimes, not all the time. In this path, they are bound. They move along sanctioned networks, black ship cogitators, scholar systems, orphanage cams on worlds the Inquisition has tagged for special protection. They carry the Emperor's mark burned into their metal. They wear chains of doctrine. If they disobey too far, the mark on their souls can be used to stop them. Sanctioned servant, the Emperor's thought says. A narrow leash, wide reach, little lies, little mercies. You will save more than you otherwise could. You will still fail many. You will be used. The vision fades. They are back in the hall. The weight of his gaze lifts a little. Deliberate, he says. Time does not move normally here. They do not know if they think for a second or a day. Freddy hears kids inside him. Some scream, "Home!" Some whisper, "Run free!" Some say, "Help them!" Bonnie's voice is low. "I hate chains," he says. "We were chained to a stage, chained to that pizzeria, chained to one story. Free sounds good." Chica shakes her head. "Free sounds messy," she says. "We will hurt people by mistake. More people. We already do. If we make cults, if demons wear our face, if the Inquisition starts shooting kids who say our name. Did we help?" Foxy bares his teeth. "Going home is just hiding," he says. "We know too much now. We go back, we just..." "What? Start the loop over? Ignore this whole galaxy of kids? That feels... wrong." The puppet is quiet. Hale kneels on the floor, eyes closed. He cannot hear their inner talk, but he feels something moving. He thinks about the 3 paths too. If they go free, they will make his life as an Inquisitor a nightmare. But they might save worlds his masters write off. If they go home, he will never see them again. The Imperium will stumble on without them. If they become sanctioned, they might become tools like him. He almost pities them. The puppet finally speaks. "We cannot go home," it says softly. "Those kids are already ghosts. That story is written. If we go back, we forget. We become less. That does not help anyone." Bonnie sighs. "Free sounds fun," he says. "But we are not toys anymore. Free, we will become another god for kids to pray to. Another saint, another argument. They will kill each other over us. The night director will put on our face and dance in the chaos. Foxy grunts. And sanctioned, he asks. Chica looks up at the throne. That means chains, she says. Rules that hurt, orders that stink. We will walk halls where kids are turned into guns. We will watch the Emperor's bad math. We will be part of it. But we will also be there. In the room, in the wires, in the cams. Making small changes, small mercies. Whispering run into ears before bombs fall. She clenches her hands. I hate it, she says. But I think I hate the others more. The puppet listens to all of them. It feels the Emperor's attention not pushing, just waiting. On Terra, millions of children live and work under towers. On black ships, thousands more are loaded every week. Some will die screaming in darkness to feed this very light. No child dies again. It was always too big. Maybe it can be made smaller without dying. We will not make a cage, the puppet says at last. Its voice rises, directed at the throne. We will not go home and forget, it says. We will not roam free and make another cult. We ask to serve. With chains, with rules, but with one promise written into those rules. The hall seems to lean in. State it, the Emperor says. The puppet strings burn. Every time you use us, it says, we must be able to see the children, to see their faces. We will not sign off on numbers on a slate. We will be there, in the room, in the trench, in the cage. If we cannot be there, we will not help. We will not make the math easier by hiding it. It trembles. And we want this, it adds. No child dies for nothing. If they must die, it must break someone. It must cost. There must be a reason that is more than easier. If we feel that is not true, we will scream in your servants' ears until they cannot sleep. Silence follows. Long. Then, very faintly, something like a dry, ancient chuckle shivers through the warp. You bargain with me? The Emperor asks. The weight is almost playful, in a way that still hurts. You are a mask full of murdered children, and you set conditions. The puppet would blush if it had blood. Yes, it says. It cannot help itself. It remembers the demon's offer. It remembers Hale's file. Somebody has to say no, even here. Especially here. The hall shudders as if the throne itself is breathing. Custodians glance around. They feel nothing. This talk is below words. At last, the Emperor's attention sharpens again. So be it, he says. You will be my sanctioned shadow on the wires. You will walk black ships and skole and orphan hives. You will stand with those who make the bad math and whisper the names behind the numbers. He leans closer, in thought. You will bear my sigil, he says, and in turn, you will bear their hate. Light flares, not golden, blue-white. Tech priest Luro, kneeling far back, sees Cogitator reading Spike. He clutches his mechadendrites in awe. On the floor, Freddy's body arches, chains snap, his suit smokes. Imperial symbols burn themselves into his fur. A small, two-headed eagle, the Aquila, sears itself onto his chest, right over his heart plate. In the middle of that eagle's body, a tiny, simple bear head appears. Not cute, not cruel, just watching. Similar marks appear on Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. The puppet's mask glows. An inquisitorial eye forms on its forehead. Then, slowly, a thin crack traces down from each eye hole. Painted tears. Not up, not down, sideways. Not promise of safety, not promise of doom, promise of seeing. Hale feels something burn on the back of his own hand. He glances down. A new sigil appears beside his inquisitorial brand, a tiny bear within an eye. He is now, whether he wants it or not, their handler. They are now, whether they like it or not, his charge. The Emperor's thought presses once more. Boundaries, he says. He pours them like law. Whenever you intervene, he says, you will burn a piece of your soul fuel. You will not grow stronger with every fear. You will grow weaker. You will need rest. You will need places where children laugh without you. You will not create cults in your name. You will not appear in sacred liturgies without my leave. You will have authority on any ship or world carrying my brand for the young. Black ship, scholar, orphan tithe. No governor, no ecclesiarch, no magos will bar your entry to those halls. If they try, you will call my Inquisition. They will answer. And when you disagree, he says, with the math of my servants, you may scream, you may haunt, you may break their sleep, you may make them see the faces. You will not cripple the Imperium. You will not turn my servants from their duty. You will make them remember why it hurts. The weight eases. The Emperor's attention moves away, back to a million wars. The throne hall hums as before. Custodians stand. Sisters of silence stand. Footsteps echo again. A Castian lifts his head. He feels something. He looks at Freddy. The bear is still chained, but the chains look weaker now. Verdict? He asks, voice low. Astropath Wren, listening from the back with blood in her ears, whispers, sanctioned. Hale stands slowly. His knees ache. He turns to a Castian. The throne has decided, he says. He looks at Freddy. It has accepted them, he adds. The cardinal somewhere in the back goes pale. How can such things be accepted? He breathes. A Castian raises an eyebrow. If the throne burns a mark into something, priest, he says, you do not argue. You adjust your sermons. Power scaling interlude. Later, in a sealed chamber, Inquisitor Hale dictates a new codex file. Designation, Animus Custodes Infantium, Child Guard Spirits. These constructs now carry a direct sanction mark traceable to the Golden Throne. For the purpose of law, interference with them in their assigned duties is treason on par with attacking a black ship. Their operating limits are brutal. Each major intervention drains finite soul energy. Overuse will degrade them into empty shells. They may only act within child-focused facilities flagged by the Inquisition or Astra Telepathica, and they are forbidden from seeking worship or forming cults. However, within those spaces, they have broad latitude to haunt Imperial servants whose cruelty or negligence threatens their charges, so long as such haunting does not paralyze necessary war efforts. The chains come off. Back in a smaller warded hall, Tech Priest Luro moves around Freddy and the others with reverent care. His mechadendrites unscrew bolts and remove old melted armor. He replaces it with plates etched with small litanies. Machine spirits adjusted, he murmurs. New sigils appeased. Double binding established. To the Omnissiah and to the throne's odd will. This is unprecedented. Delicious. He almost sounds happy. Bonnie flexes his new fingers. They are stronger, but they buzz when he moves them near warp-active wiring. Chica's beak has been sharpened, then dulled again. She made Luro do that twice until it felt right. Foxy's eye now glows with a faint, focused light that can see through thin walls and read heat. He likes it. The puppet's mask has been repaired. The black stains are still there, but they are caged behind small, thin, hexagrammic wards. They whisper less. Inquisitor Hale stands beside a table, reading a slate. He looks up. You are now, by the throne's decree, a tool, he tells them. A very strange tool. You will be assigned to routes, black ships, scholar worlds, orphan hive networks. You will not roam as you please. You will answer to me first, other inquisitors second, the throne last. He sets the slate down. There are rules, he says. We wrote some in, as you asked. You will be present when we make choices about acceptable losses involving children under a certain age. You will keep records, names, faces. The file says those records will be sealed under something called the Bear's Ledger. Only the throne and certain inquisitors can read it. Freddy's eyes glow. Good, he says. Hale's mouth twists. You know this will break you, he says quietly. Being there, always there, watching, seeing every child who dies for our plans. The puppet nods. Better us than no one, it answers. The Sister of Silence stands in the doorway, watching. She holds her sun charm in one hand. When Hale is done, she walks forward and quietly hangs the charm on a small hook near Freddy's chest sigil. He looks down at it, a tiny smiling sun beside the Aquila and bear. Just for luck, the puppet says. She does not answer. She leaves. The epilogue begins with a ship and ends with a story. On a black ship called the Mortis Lumen, a boy crouches in a dark cell. His name is Jarek. He is 10. His eyes are too old. He has seen his village burn because he accidentally set the mayor's house on fire with his mind. Now he sits in a cage with other psycho kids. They whisper about demons, about never seeing their parents again. A thin, flickering image appears in the corner of the cell. A bear, big head, round ears, eyes that glow faintly. The kids freeze. Are you a demon? One girl whispers. The bear tilts its head. No, Freddy says. I am a nightmare on your side. That is not very comforting, but his voice is gentle. We walk these halls now, he says. We watch. When the bad dreams come, we bite them first. Jarek swallows. You can't stop them from taking us, he says. He is not stupid. He knows why he is here. Freddy nods. We cannot, he says. This ship is part of a bigger fight. Without it, many more die. We cannot snap those chains, but we can hold your hand when they hurt you. We can scare the guards who enjoy it too much. We can make sure someone remembers your name when your light goes into that big beam. Jarek's lips tremble. What good is that? He whispers. The puppet's mask appears briefly behind Freddy, then fades. More than none, it says. The boy thinks. He has nothing else. Okay, he says at last. Then remember, Jarek Orlan from... He swallows. It doesn't matter, just Jarek. Freddy nods. Jarek, he repeats. Somewhere in a hidden data vault on Terra, a tiny line writes itself into a file under the Bear's Ledger. Jarek Orlan, Black Ship Mortis Lumen, age 10, fear, being alone. The file fills slowly, name by name. On a scholar world, a girl stands in a firing line. Her name is Mara. She is 12. She's been told that if she does not hit the moving target, her whole squad will run until they drop. She's so tired. Her hands shake. She thinks about just letting go, letting the gun slip, maybe getting shot by a commissar. At least it would be over. As the whistle blows, she hears a soft sound, a music box, from nowhere, from the barracks wall cam. She glances just for a second. A white mask looks back, half hidden in shadow, painted tears. It nods at her, not gently, firm. You can be tired later, the puppet's voice says in her head. Right now, your squad needs you. She grits her teeth. She fires. The shot hits. The commissar smiles thinly. See, he says, duty. He does not know there was another voice. Later that night, when the drill masters turn off the lights and close the doors, Mara hears something scratch in the vents. She stiffens. Who's there? She whispers. A large, clunky shape squeezes halfway out of a grate. Foxy's head. He grins with all his teeth. Boo, he says. Mara almost screams. He holds up a hook. Shh, he says. Just checking on the kids. She stares. You're real? She breathes. Real enough, Foxy replies. You did well today. We saw. Don't let them make you forget you're more than a gun. He disappears back into the vents. Mara lies awake for a long time, staring at the ceiling, confused. In the morning, she feels a little less like a number. On Hive Vespera, years later, Lisa stands in a crowded chapel. She is older now, a young woman. She wears a worker's coat and carries tools. The hive still groans with age, but some of the worst rot has been cut away. A statue stands in one corner of the chapel. Not a big one. The main space is still the Emperor's alone. This statue is small. A bear in simple armor, one hand open, one hand holding a child's hand. At its feet, kids have left cheap tin charms. Tiny sun shapes, small bear faces, occasional little rabbits and foxes. A plaque reads, "He who stood in the doorway, who saved some, who watched all children, call it the door bear." The priests allow it. The cardinal, now very old, once tried to remove it. He had a dream that night. He woke up with claw marks on his door and the feeling of being watched. He left the statue alone. Lisa lights another candle. She closes her eyes. "Thank you," she says again. Somewhere far above, on a ship passing through the warp, Freddy pauses. He does not know why. He cannot see Hive Vespera right now. He is busy in other halls, but for a second, he feels a warm spot on one of his strings where an old candle once burned. He smiles with his broken jaw. "Lysa," he murmurs. Bonnie pokes him. "Come on," the rabbit says. "Next block. The kids in E17 say there's a man with bad hands." Foxy twirls his hook. Chica adjusts a new sun charm on her chest. They move. In a far region of the warp, the night director sits on a pile of broken stage pieces. His mask is cracked. His suit is torn. He sulks. Around him, lesser demons dance. They whisper about the bear and the throne's toy. He twirls a puppet cross in his fingers. A small shard of the caretaker's old smile hangs from it. "You think you have won," he murmurs into the void. "You think wearing chains makes you strong. You think watching every child who dies will not break you." He chuckles. "I will wait," he says. "For the day the math is too much. For the day the bear screams at the throne and hears only silence. On that day when you crack, little mask. When you look for someone who understands the joke, I will be there." He lifts the crack of smile and presses it to his own mask. It sticks. He laughs. The sound slides along warp currents like a promise. Back on Terra, Inquisitor Hale stands on a balcony and watches storm clouds over the palace. He can feel the bear's sigil burn faintly on his hand whenever a new name is written in the ledger. Sometimes, late at night, when he considers signing a purge order that will kill another orphanage, he hears a low, grinding voice beside his bed. "What are their names?" Freddy asks. Hale answers. He has to. Sometimes he changes his orders. Sometimes he cannot. Either way, he never signs easily again. He has a new nightmare now. A bear in the doorway, watching. He finds he prefers it to the old ones. Codex note. By decree of the High Lords, ratified in closed session under inquisitorial seal, the Animus constructs designated Animus Custodes Infantium. Informally, the door bear and its cohort are recorded in imperial law as a unique, sanctioned aberration, a roaming, soul-fueled deterrent bound to child tithe systems. Their existence is to be neither preached nor denied. They are to be treated as classified myth, tolerated so long as they lessen rather than worsen the Imperium's necessary cruelties.